I begin the substantive nature of my speech, I just simply want to join with the Defence Minister and others in passing on my condolences to Timothy O'Donnell and also our thoughts to those soldiers, his comrades who were injured. Briefly, I just want to say as a Minister that I attended along with other colleagues the farewells, as the Minister of Defence is referred to, for soldiers, and I recall and also welcome soldiers back at Christchurch Airport. I recall two emotions in the eyes that you could see in the eyes of the family members. On exit, one of fear for their loved ones and an emotion of hope that they will return. And on return, sir, the look and sound of sheer joy that their loved ones had returned home. And I simply acknowledge that, sir. I want to talk briefly today, sir, about what I see as some of the great things about this country that we need to preserve. Jobs, our health system, look after our elderly folk, but to do that, sir, we require something called a plan and something called a vision. And today I was going to start by saying that the National Party has no plan. They have articulated, sir, one plan in this House today, articulated by that spin doctor extraordinaire, Stephen Joyce. It's called, sir, the brush-off. And Stephen Joyce, of course, this is the plan, the brush-off. The brush-off to the 160,000 New Zealanders, sir, who now do not have a job, middle-class men and women as well as working-class folk, but middle-class men and women who now, some for the first time in their lives, are bucketed out of work, facing the mortgage foreclosing on them, not knowing as they look their wives and their husbands in the eye and their children how they are going to make ends meet, sir. And the plan for them, as articulated by Stephen Joyce and this government, is the brush-off. Now, sir, even Jerry Brownlee, who I know well, who was a woodwork teacher at St Bede's, a builder, I'm told, of what? I don't know whether it was an outhouse, a hen house or a dog house, but even he would know, sir, as a practitioner of the workings of wood, that in order to build a structure, in order to build a solid structure, you need something called a plan. Jerry Brownlee, of course, was restricted at St Bede's to the chopping board. That was the nature of his skills. But you need a plan, sir. You need a vision. And what is the National Party's plan and vision? Well, they ain't got one, sir, apart from today, called the brush-off. We had the Jobs Summit, a fizzer. We had the cycleway. Oh, it was going to be the nirvana for New Zealand. Create thousands of jobs, we were told. How many? 70. Brushed off. 70. They've brushed that one off neatly under the carpet. They don't want to mention that one again, of course. 70, sir. It's not even 70, the member said down the back. Well, I stand corrected. And then we have Sir Jerry Brownlee articulating that no, it's not a cycleway. No, it's not a jobs summit. The way for New Zealand, sir, the great plan, the great aspirational vision, sir, is to dig big holes where no one wants them and dig up gold as if there is gold in them there hills. Well, what happened to that? It got brushed off. It got brushed off right under the carpet, real quick, reversed, ditched, gone, not even by lunchtime, sir. And that was the only reason for that, of course, was because New Zealanders said no. So no jobs summit, a cycleway to nowhere, mining gone, and what do we have, of course? Well, we have, remember the National Party articulating their plan to reverse Kiwis going to Australia and overseas. Well, now, sir, in the last 3 months, of course, there are more Kiwis going overseas. Sir, we are in danger of almost depopulation if this trend carries on, sir. But what is the vision for that? Nothing. Then we have the plan to close the wage gap between Australia and New Zealand. This was a centrepiece of National Party policy. This was a live or die stance, sir, that Jerry Brownlee and John Key articulated day after day. And what do we see after 18 months of a national government, sir? A wage gap growing, of course, $50 a week and exceeding as we speak. And what have we had as a plan or a vision or some sort of aspiration to deal with that problem, sir, that has arisen? Well, we had Jerry Brownlee getting up here like a sort of human jelly you're trying to nail to a wall with a sledgehammer, I suspect, sort of mincing around the place, trying to get himself out from under the sort of rock he's put himself in, trying to sort of disembowel figures, give any statistics, put anything on paper to try and explain why he failed, sir, to try and explain why there is no plan, sir,
to try and explain why there is no vision. But they do have one plan, sir. It was articulated today. It's to brush off all the bad news, brush off 160,000 unemployed in New Zealand and sell out every Kiwi that they made a commitment to before the election.
The Honourable Tim Grosser.